Dolores Hart's life reads like a story divided between two worlds that rarely intersect. On one side stands the luminous Hollywood actress who shared the screen with legends, embodied youthful grace, and seemed destined for enduring stardom. On the other stands a woman of deep faith who willingly stepped away from fame to pursue a calling rooted in silence, service, and spiritual devotion. What makes her story so compelling is not simply the contrast between these lives, but the integrity with which she lived both. Her journey reflects a rare courage to listen inwardly, even when the outward world offered admiration, wealth, and promise. As she reached the later years of her life, Hart chose to speak openly about the experiences that shaped her path, including her misunderstood relationship with Elvis Presley. Her reflections do not aim to revive old myths, but to restore humanity to moments long buried beneath celebrity and speculation. In doing so, she offers a story not of renunciation, but of wholeness, authenticity, and love expressed in unexpected forms. Roots of faith and early formation. Dolores Hart was shaped early by a foundation of faith, discipline, and creativity that quietly prepared her for an extraordinary life. Raised in a Catholic household that valued moral clarity and compassion, she learned from a young age that success was meaningful only when aligned with purpose. Her family nurtured both her artistic instincts and her spiritual sensitivity, creating a balance that would later define her decisions. While attending a women's liberal arts college in Chicago, Hart deepened her intellectual curiosity and refined her creative voice. This period was not merely academic, it allowed her to explore who she was beyond surface ambition. Even before Hollywood entered the picture, there was already an inner life, forming, attentive to beauty, meaning, and responsibility. These early influences instilled in her a sense of self that proved remarkably resilient when confronted with fame. Rather than being swept away by opportunity, Hart carried her values with her into every new environment. This grounding would later allow her to navigate success without losing herself, and to recognize, when the time came, that her calling extended beyond the world she had entered. A meteoric rise in Hollywood. Hart's entry into Hollywood was swift and dazzling, marked by a natural poise that set her apart from her peers. Signing with a major studio placed her at the heart of the film industry during a period when glamour and star power ruled the screen. Audiences were drawn to her warmth and sincerity, qualities that felt genuine rather than manufactured. Critics noted her ability to convey emotional depth without exaggeration, a rare gift in an era of heightened performance styles. Sharing the screen with major stars, she quickly became associated with roles that balanced innocence and strength. Her performances suggested an intelligence and sensitivity that went beyond surface beauty. Though her career was brief, it was carefully chosen rather than rushed. Hart gravitated toward roles that allowed her to explore character and meaning, resisting the temptation to rely solely on her rising fame. Even at the height of her popularity, there was a sense that she was observing Hollywood as much as participating in it, aware that success alone could not satisfy deeper longings. The Elvis Presley connection. Hart's relationship with Elvis Presley has long fascinated the public, yet it was never the conventional Hollywood romance many imagined. When they met, both were young and navigating extraordinary levels of attention. What drew them together was not spectacle, but recognition. Hart saw beneath Elvis's public persona to a man marked by sensitivity, humour, and generosity. Their bond developed through shared moments on set and private conversations away from the cameras. While attraction existed, Hart later clarified that their connection was rooted more deeply in friendship and mutual respect. Elvis, often misunderstood as reckless or superficial, revealed a thoughtful and emotionally aware side in their interactions. He respected her faith and her boundaries, something Hart remembered with lasting gratitude. Rather than being defined by passion or drama, their relationship was marked by gentleness and understanding. In later reflections, Hart emphasized that reducing their bond to rumor diminishes its truth. What they shared was a meaningful human connection that existed quietly amid extraordinary public lives, defining roles and artistic maturity. As her career progressed, Hart sought roles that challenged her emotionally and spiritually. She moved beyond light romantic parts to portray women grappling with faith, sacrifice, and moral strength. One of her most defining performances involved portraying a saint, a role that required not only acting skill but inner reflection. During this time, her artistic life expanded beyond performance into drawing and contemplation, revealing a creative depth often hidden from public view. These roles mirrored her own internal questioning, allowing her to explore themes that resonated personally. Her work demonstrated restraint, empathy, and a growing seriousness that critics increasingly recognized. Rather than chasing stardom, Hart seemed to be searching for alignment between her work and her inner life. Each role became a step toward self-understanding. This period marked her transition from promising young actress to a thoughtful artist, one who understood that storytelling carried moral and emotional responsibility. Her performances during these years remain notable for their sincerity and quiet power. The turning point toward spiritual calling. Despite professional success, Hart felt a persistent pull toward a different life. This calling did not arise suddenly, nor was it born from dissatisfaction with acting. Instead, it emerged gradually through prayer, reflection, and lived experience. She began to sense that the fulfillment she sought could not be found in applause or recognition. Choosing to leave Hollywood required immense courage, as it meant stepping away from certainty into the unknown. When she entered monastic life, the decision shocked the public, yet for Hart, it felt like a homecoming. She did not view her choice as rejection of her past, but as its fulfillment. The discipline she learned as an actress translated seamlessly into a life of prayer and service. Her transition revealed that vocation is not about escape, but about deeper commitment. By listening to her inner voice, Hart demonstrated that true freedom often lies in choosing meaning over expectation. Life within the Abbey. Within the monastery, Hart embraced a rhythm of life centered on contemplation, community, and service. Far from erasing her former identity, this new life integrated her talents in unexpected ways. She contributed to artistic and cultural expressions within the Abbey, enriching communal worship and creativity. Over time, her leadership abilities became evident, leading to significant responsibility within the monastic community. Her approach to leadership was marked by humility and attentiveness rather than authority. She guided others with compassion, drawing from both her spiritual depth and life experience. The Abbey flourished as a place where faith and creativity coexisted. Hart's journey demonstrated that devotion does not require the abandonment of gifts, but their redirection. Her life in the monastery was not defined by withdrawal from the world, but by a deeper engagement with it, through prayer and service. In this setting, she found peace, purpose, and continuity with her earlier life. Returning to the public eye with purpose. Later in life, Hart re-emerged publicly, not as a celebrity, but as a witness to an uncommon journey. Through interviews, lectures, and a documentary, she shared her story with clarity and grace. These appearances were not driven by nostalgia, but by a desire to offer insight into a life shaped by listening and courage. Her memoir provided a thoughtful reflection on fame, faith, and the complexity of human longing. audiences responded not with curiosity alone, but with admiration for her honesty. She spoke openly about uncertainty, sacrifice, and joy, reminding listeners that vocation evolves over time. By revisiting her past without regret, Hart demonstrated reconciliation between her two worlds. Her story resonated across secular and religious audiences because it spoke to universal questions of identity and purpose. In telling her story, she offered reassurance that life's chapters, however different, can belong to a single, coherent whole: truth, memory, and legacy. In her later reflections on Elvis Presley, Hart chose truth over myth. She spoke not to revive speculation, but to restore humanity to a story long overshadowed by fame. Her words revealed a relationship grounded in respect, affection, and emotional honesty. By sharing these memories, she honored not only Elvis, but the sincerity of their connection. Her reflections remind us that behind every legend is a human being shaped by tenderness and vulnerability. Hart's legacy lies not only in her films or religious life, but in her unwavering commitment to authenticity. She lived fully in each chapter of her life without diminishing the others. Her story invites reflection on courage, integrity, and the quiet strength required to follow one's calling. In the end, Dolores Hart stands as a testament to the beauty of a life lived truthfully, where faith and humanity walk hand in hand,